Welcome to Washington, D.C. Good look there at the White House. Of course, we're in the nation's capital. This place synonymous with American history. Looking to make some boxing history this weekend. You're looking live at the Marriott Renaissance Hotel here in Washington, D.C., where Bernard Hopkins, Beibut, Shumenov will get ready to weigh in just a few moments. Of course, we always give you a front row seat here on SHO Sports Press Pass Live. Hello, everyone. I'm Brian Custer coming to you from Washington, D.C. You know, really, this begins just day one of 3 weeks of a boxing bonanza here on Showtime. And it all kicks off tonight at 10:45 in the evening with SHOBox coming your way, of course, from Pittsburgh. And the former heavyweight champion, Mike Tyson, he's now turned promoter. He's going to bring you a triple header. Comes your way 10:45 tonight. You do not want to miss that. And then after that, tomorrow night, you do not want to miss All Access. It is the premiere of All Access, Mayweather versus Maidana. Intimate look at both camps as they prepare, of course, for their huge fight. That comes your way May 3rd. That comes your way tomorrow at 9 o'clock. And then it is championship boxing. It is Bernard Hopkins taking on Beibut, Shumenov. Both of these guys looking to make some history. That comes your way immediately following All Access. And we're not done. You go to next Saturday, the 26th, we head out to Los Angeles. You got a great fight card there. You got the former welterweight, undefeated Keith one-time Thurman. He'll be fighting. You got Lucas Konecny fighting on that card, a triple header, Omar Figueroa. Those guys, all of those guys fighting on the 26th, followed by Floyd Mayweather on May 3rd. But let's get to why we're here. And of course, the weigh-in. Championship boxing on Showtime, 9 o'clock tomorrow. And you've got Bernard Hopkins taking on Beibut Shumenov in the main event. And this is just unbelievable what Bernard Hopkins is doing and trying to do. At 49, already the oldest man to win a world title, now trying to become the oldest man to defend a world title and, of course, unify the world title at the light heavyweight division. And you got Beibut Shumenov, who's trying to make history as well, trying to become the fastest man in 16 fights to unify the light heavyweight division. That's a great main event. And then in your main feature, you got a great fight there. The new welterweight champ, undefeated, Shawn Showtime Porter, going up against our Showtime colleague, Paulie Malignaggi. That's the co-main feature coming your way on this triple header. And then after that, you've got, of course, the middleweight champion, Kid Chocolate, Peter Quillin. He's got a tough fight, and of course, he's taking on Lucas Konecny. A triple header, all of that coming your way tomorrow night. So let's get this weigh-in started. Let's get this thing all starting with that. Got to turn it over to my Showtime colleague, the always classy Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to you, and we welcome you to the official weigh-in for a big night of action coming away. History at the Capitol, brought to you by Golden Boy Promotions and Showtime, sponsored by Corona, La Cerveza Más Fina, AT&T Rethink Possible, and Casamigos Tequila, brought to you by those who drink it. We begin our weigh-ins with opening Showtime Championship Boxing title attraction, 12 rounds for the WBO Middleweight Championship of the World. First, we invite to the stage the challenger. Joining us from the Czech Republic, he is ranked the WBO #2 contender, introducing Lucas Konecny. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we invite to the stage the defending champion, undefeated at 30-0, 22 knockouts from Brooklyn, New York. Please welcome the WBO middleweight champion of the world, Kid Chocolate, Peter Quillin. And now, ladies and gentlemen, he's ready to join us on to the scale at this time. Once again, the challenger making his U.S. debut in his second attempt at a world title, Lucas Konecny. Lucas Konecny, 158 1/4 pounds. 158 1/4 pounds. Konecny, 158 1/4 pounds. And his opponent, ladies and gentlemen,
So this will be an interesting fight here. Lucas Konecny, of course, against Kid Chocolate, Peter Quillin. Konecny, of course, fighting really for the first time as a pro here in the United States as these guys get ready to face off.
It's 2 sets. We keep both of them. Golden Boy does. Okay. You need to go to the doctor. Obviously, you can take a review and we keep one and off. Okay. I'll bring you a chair right now. Okay. Social sign. There's 3 more places. Sign on the highlighted. Okay. You do it so I'll bring it.
Test.
All right, so both guys, of course, make weight. And here is the middleweight champ, Kid Chocolate, Peter Quillin. This is an interesting fight because you got a guy who not a lot of fight fans know about. You really haven't seen him fight. How do you approach a fight like this against a guy who you really haven't seen a lot of tape on?
Well, you got to learn him right there in the ring. You know, this guy got 50 fights of experience, so he could be just as dangerous as all the other guys that I fought. I just know what's important is that I got to focus right in what's right in front of me, and this guy right here is coming to take my belt, and I have to take it back to Brooklyn.
You know, this is the first time he says that he's fighting here in the United States. He wants to make a statement. He said, "You're a great champion, but I see that he can be hit, and that's my opportunity to go in there and hit him often." Give me your response.
Well, you know, getting hit is just only half the battle. You got to be able to take the punch back. So, you know, to be able to deliver pain, you have to go through it. So me taking punches is nothing. I just eat them and I'll keep going. And my will is what's strong in me. And I just know I got some good work ethics inside of me with the hard work, the will, and the determination just to be a greater champion.
You know, and as a champion, you got great power in both hands. You've had so many knockouts. Do you see this one going the distance, or do you see him stopping it?
Well, I could just say it's up to him to decide that. If he's strong enough, then he'll be in there. If he's not, it won't last very long at all.
All right. He is Kid Chocolate, of course, the middleweight champion of the world. Best of luck to you, champ. All right, let's continue on the weigh-in. Here's Jimmy Linden Jr.
In case you need to go to the doctor after the fight.
Okay.
Social sign.
All right, fans, with this time, we continue with our weigh-in for our second World Championship attraction. 12 rounds for the IBF Welterweight Championship of the World. First, we invite to the stage, he is the challenger, ranked the IBF number 4 contender. Former world champion from Brooklyn, New York. Please welcome the Magic Man, Paulie Malignaggi. And his opponent is the defending champion from Akron, Ohio, newly crowned IBF welterweight champion of the world, the undefeated Showtime Shawn Porter. And first up to the scale, ladies and gentlemen, the challenger. He is the former 2-time 2-weight division world champion, introducing the Magic Man, Paulie Malignaggi.
As you see Paulie getting ready to come, of course, he's 5-3 in world championship fights with 1 knockout.
Paulie Malignaggi weighs in at 146.25 pounds. 146.25 pounds for Paulie Malignaggi.
Much to be said about Paulie Malignaggi. He's known for the theatrics, and he's brought him today with the elephant trunk.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, here is the defending champion making the first defense of his title, the undefeated IBF welterweight champion of the world, Showtime Shawn Porter. Shawn Porter weighs in at 146.75 pounds. 146.75 pounds for Showtime Shawn Porter.
There's the IBF welterweight champ, Shawn Porter. Of course, he's been a pro for about 5 years. Now, he had a great amateur career. Fantastic amateur career. He was an alternate on the Olympic team back in 2008. Had some great amateur wins, won over them over Daniel Jacobs, who will be guest commentating with Showtime Championship Boxing for this triple header as these guys get ready to face off. Paulie's talked a lot about how his experience will help him win this fight. Porter's talked about his skills, that he's a champion and he doesn't see himself losing it.
Watch your feet, watch your feet, watch your feet. Phillies. Thank you. Watch your feet, watch your feet.
And there they are, ladies and gentlemen, 12 rounds for the IBF Welterweight Championship of the World. Paulie Malignaggi, Showtime, Shawn Porter.
A lot of respect between these two. These two have known each other for a little bit. So a lot of respect between Paulie Malignaggi and, of course, the
Not sure
welterweight
who's
champ,
first. Stand by.
Shawn Porter. Going to talk to both of these guys here in just a moment. You know, Porter has talked a lot about this fight, that, you know, he respects that Paulie's been in with some great fighters, the Miguel Cottos, the Ricky Hattons, the Amir Khans, but in Porter's mind, he says he's going to be facing all of that in one fighter come Saturday night. So it will be interesting.
And coming up next, we're going to weigh in the main event fight.
And you're getting ready to join me now.
For those
is
of you who are
the
interested,
IBF welterweight champion of the world, Shawn Showtime Porter, right here. All right, here he is, champ. Let's talk about this fight. I thought it was interesting, you know, when someone talked about the experience that Paulie had and some of the fighters he's fought. Miguel Cotto, Amir Khan, Ricky Hatton, all those guys. You said, you know what, all that's great, but he's going to be fighting all of that in one come Saturday night. Explain that.
Oh, you wasn't supposed to say that publicly, man. Basically what I mean is, like we said in the meeting, I'm an athlete. And when you're an athlete, you have a whole lot of tools. And luckily for me, God blessed me with some tools that Miguel Cotto has, Ricky Hatton has, and, you know, all the names that Paulie has fought. So even though he has the experience, I have some experience too. We're going to bring our toolbox to the ring and we're going to go to work.
Yeah, he talked about, he said, look, the guy's young. I know he's young, he's aggressive, but because of my experience, that's what's going to help me win that fight. What's your response to that?
Hey, if all he's relying on is his experience, he'll get in the ring, that won't work, and he'll try some other things, and we'll make some adjustments. We got this one in the bag. You
know, you really, you frustrated Devin Alexander in that fight. Do you see this one going the distance?
I don't know if it's going to go the distance. We didn't train for it to go the distance, that's for sure. We trained for a knockout, a stoppage, referee jumping on his back, jumping on my back, you know, whatever we have to do to end that fight early, we want to do it. But again, he's crafty, he's a veteran. We respect that, we know that, but we coming in there to handle business.
And of course, he's nicknamed Showtime for a reason. He is the welterweight champ. Thank you, champ. Appreciate it. All right, let's continue on here with this weigh-in. And joining me now is a guy I know pretty well. You know pretty well as well, our Showtime colleague, Paulie Malignaggi. All right, you heard Shawn talk. Young champion. You've been in his position before.
Yeah.
How do you counter that? Because he's young, he's hungry, he knows he's the champ. He certainly doesn't want to lose the belt.
Of course, got to be confident. I think you don't show up for the weigh-in the day before the fight and not show up confident. But at the same time, he's youthful, he's anxious. I can hear it in his voice, I can see it in his body language. He's a very anxious kid. He's already talking stoppage when we all know how difficult it is to do. I'm the kind of guy where when I'm sharp, the harder you try, the more you pay. So that'll be the plan tomorrow. The harder Shawn tries, the more he's going to pay. And then we'll see if he goes the distance.
Yeah, you know, he's
like he said.
You know, he's talked a lot about, hey, you've been in with some great fighters, but you're going to be facing all of those in one, and you're going to be surprised of the skills that he brings.
I don't think I'm going to be surprised at anything. I'm not saying he's a bad fighter. I expect a very good fighter tomorrow. I expect an opponent, and I train for a good opponent. So I don't expect to be surprised at anything that he does. I always train to the max. I feel like I'm in very good shape. I train for a very rugged fight because I think Shawn knows he's not the more talented fighter of the two. I think Shawn knows he has no choice but to try to make it rugged and try to make it a rough fight because he can't box with me. So having said that, that's the kind of training we did. We prepared for that, and we're ready to counteract whatever he does.
He's the magic man, Paulie Malignaggi. Yeah! Best of luck to you, Paulie. Let's continue on with the weigh-in. Here's Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Well, fans, it's time to weigh in the main event of the evening in history at the Capitol. 12 rounds of boxing for the Unified Light Heavyweight Championship of the World. Brought to you by Golden Boy Promotions and Showtime. Sponsored by Corona, La Cerveza Más Fina, AT&T Rethink Possible, and Casamigos Tequila, brought to you by those who drink it. Well, fans, first we invite the WBA and IBA champion from Shymkent, Kazakhstan, now living in Las Vegas. Looking to become the fastest fighter to ever unify the light heavyweight division in only his 16th professional bout. Here is the WBA and IBA light heavyweight world champion, Beibut Shumenov. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we invite to the stage the legend from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, making his 31st world title appearance. The oldest fighter ever to hold a world title. Here is the IBF light heavyweight champion of the world, the one and only Bernard, the Alien Hopkins. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we invite to the scale, making his 6th world title defense. Here is the WBA and IBA light heavyweight champion of the world, Beibut Shumenov. £174.5 pounds for Beibut Shumenov. 174.5 pounds. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we invite to the scale the former longtime and undisputed middleweight champion of the world, the current IBF light heavyweight champion of the world, the ageless wonder, Bernard, the Alien Hopkins.
I don't want him walking over there too soon. Thank you.
Already 172.5 pounds for Bernard Hopkins, 172.5 pounds.
These guys are getting ready to face off here in just a moment. Really interesting fight between these two. You remember Carl Morad and Bernard Hopkins' last fight. He went toe-to-toe. He said he knew the people wanted entertainment. That's what he wanted to give them. Beibut Shumenov has got some good power, so it'll be interesting to see if that happens again Saturday night. Shumenov talked about if it does, that Hopkins is going to be in trouble. He has a lot of respect for Bernard Hopkins, called him a legend, but he says he wants to be known as one of the best in boxing, and he feels like the only way to get that kind of respect is to beat someone like Bernard Hopkins. And what can you say about Bernard at 49 years young? He's still at the top of his game, and again, one of his things at the top of his game is making someone wait. As you see, as he takes his time getting dressed. And I want you to just kind of get a look at Beibut Shumenov's face here. You can look at Beibut Shumenov and see he's a little perturbed because he's got to wait. Here comes the face-off.
There they are, ladies and gentlemen. It's the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the Unified Light Heavyweight Championship of the World. History at the Capitol. Brought to you by Golden Boy Promotions and Showtime. Sponsored by Corona, La Cerveza Más Fina, AT&T Rethink Possible, and Casamigos.
This is really getting interesting
Tequila,
here.
brought to you by those who drink it.
This is getting interesting. You know, Beibut Shumenov has been cool the whole week. A lot of things that Bernard Hopkins has thrown at him, he's been cool, but not today. Folks, this is going to be a great main event. You do not want to miss this on Showtime Championship Boxing. Bernard Hopkins, Beibut Shumenov, both of these guys looking to make some history. So you do not want to miss
And don't go away, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be weighing in our Showtime Extreme Fighters
Joining
and
me
our
right
full
now
undercard. Truly a
is the
big
IBF.
night.
light heavyweight world champion, Bernard Hopkins, again at 49, looking to make more history. He's done it time and time again. Oldest man to win a world title. Trying to be the oldest man to defend it and to unify a title is Bernard Hopkins come Saturday night. Okay, champ. Man, that got a little heated. What did you say to Beibut Shumenov?
My title.
That was it?
My title.
He has been relatively calm.
It stops now. He had fun. It's a hobby for him. It stops now.
He has been relatively cool. Has it been part of the game plan to get under his skin? Because you've done a lot of things this week.
I'm speaking the truth. However he takes it. I'm speaking the truth. I don't do anything you don't win fights by mind games. You win fights by fighting.
In the last fight against Carl Morat, we saw a different Bernard Hopkins. You were entertaining. I mean, you threw punches, you gave give and take. Will we see that same kind of performance Saturday night?
Hope you see me giving more than taking, but I'm looking to win this fight. I'm looking to win it impressively.
How much would it mean to you to unify the light heavyweight title at 49 and make more history?
It means a lot to me, but it means more to boxing.
Bernard Hopkins, the IBF light heavyweight champ. All right, let's bring in the person he will be challenging and taking on in Beibut Shumenov. Again, this is a guy who wants to make some history as well. You know, Beibut Shumenov trying to be the first man in just 16 fights to unify the light heavyweight title. So this is going to be a great matchup. Here comes Beibut now. Okay, Beibut, you know, Bernard Hopkins has done a lot of things, it seems like, this week to try to get under your skin. Was there one thing that really irked you that he did this week?
No, like yesterday at the press conference that when he grabbed my belts, that was very disrespectful because first of all, we are not only boxers, we are warriors. We put our lives on the line, so either of us could die in the ring. That's why I respect every opponent. And I don't know what was the reason, but it was very disrespectful.
What did he say to you? It got pretty heated in that stare down. What did he say to you that really irked you?
I didn't care what he said. I just, I have no doubts that tomorrow night I'll be the winner.
Do you think he's underestimated you?
I think so. Saying that I am thinking that I'm fighting with 50 years old man, or saying that, oh, how it's good to eat before the weigh-in. Doesn't matter. I don't have any problem with my conditioning. I can fight 15 rounds, no problem. And like I said so many times, I wanna fight with the best. I'm fighting with the best. And tomorrow night I'm gonna show the world what I'm capable of. I'm gonna show I am the best one in our division.
Beibut Shumenov looking to make some history. Best of luck to you. We appreciate the time. So this will be interesting. Beibut Shumenov, Bernard Hopkins, both of these guys looking to make some history. And again, what a time we had here at this weigh-in. And folks, you do not want to miss this triple header on Showtime Championship Boxing. And of course, everything comes your way. It all kicks off Saturday at 9 o'clock for the all premiere of All Access. Mayweather versus Maidana. You don't want to miss that. An intimate look at both of those camps. And then immediately following that, it is Showtime Championship Boxing. Of course, the main event, it is Bernard Hopkins taking on Beibut Shumenov. All of that comes your way. Showtime Championship Boxing, that's tomorrow night. And then next Saturday, Keith Thurman returns to the ring, taking on Julio the Kid Diaz. Lucas Matisse, he'll face John Molina Jr. Omar Figueroa also on that card. So another great triple header that comes your way next Saturday. All of that from Los Angeles. And then May 3rd, it is pay-per-view, a stacked card. The pound-for-pound king, Floyd Mayweather, taking on Marcos Maidana. Also, Amir Khan taking on Luis Collazo. That's going to be a great fight. You don't want to miss that. Adrian Broner returns to the ring. He will be in the ring against Carlos Molina. That's also on the card. All of that from the MGM Grand in Las Vegas comes your way May 3rd on pay-per-view boxing. Now, if you want to join into the conversation, folks, all you got to do is get on social media. Just use the hashtag Hopkins Shumenov. You can join in the conversation. And, of course, you can always go to our website at show.com/sports. Man, it's been a great day. What a weigh-in, and it's going to be some great fights. All of it, again, comes your way. Showtime Championship Boxing, 9 o'clock tomorrow night here on Showtime. I'm Brian Custer. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week in Los Angeles.
Anybody else think that they're the champion because they might have a belt, they frauds.
Shawn Porter becomes the new IBF welterweight champion.
Paulie Malignaggi lands more jabs per round than anybody in boxing.
Quillin tags him with that shot.
The undefeated middleweight champion of the world.
Hopkins versus Shumenov, tomorrow at 9, immediately following All Access Mayweather versus Maidana, only on Showtime.
Just waiting on that moment.
All access, baby. Let's go.
Waiting on my moment.
Ain't no boundaries, ain't no limits. It's only one name that counts, and that's Mayweather.
As long as I stay hustling, I'm gonna shine. Just waiting on that moment.
Marcos Maidana defeats Adrian Broner.
It's not a fight. This is what we call an event.
In sport, one moment can change the course of history.
Broner goes down for the first
The
time.
brute force of Marcos Maidana has upset some of boxing's best. Can one punch dethrone the pound-for-pound king, Floyd Mayweather?
45 have tried, 45 have failed.
Where will you be when the moment happens?
The moment. Floyd Mayweather versus Marcos Maidana, plus Amir Khan versus Luis Colazo, and Adrian Broner versus Carlos Molina. Saturday, May 3rd, live on pay-per-view. Tomorrow, Showtime brings you a night of boxing greats. First, it's the return of money.
All access, baby. Let's go.
Catch the premiere of All Access Mayweather versus Maidana as they prepare to square off May 3rd.
This is not a fight. This is what we call an event.
Then, it's another run to history for Bernard Hopkins.
Hopkins putting on the pressure.
As the ageless champion attempts to unify world titles when he faces Beibut Shumenov. All Access Mayweather versus Maidana, premiering tomorrow at 9, followed by Hopkins versus Shumenov, only on Showtime.
I'm gonna defend my title against anybody. I don't care if it's my own mother.
The fans got their money's worth tonight. I'm back on the horse, and I'm looking for these big fights.
I'm the powerful fighter out here at 147.
When I go to the ring, I'm ready to die and I'm ready to kill.
He says it would be an honor to fight you.
We'll be honored to take his belt.
Hopkins going on the attack. There's a right hand that connects. A nice stiff right hand by Hopkins. And it's all Beibut Shumenov. Now Hopkins showing some speed. Bernard Hopkins, a physical marvel. And there's a nice 1-2 combination by the Magic Man. And a furious exchange here as Porter on the attack. Outboxing, outfoxing, Paulie Malignaggi dictating the pace. Showtime, Shawn Porter throwing bombs here. A terrific performance for Paulie Magic Man Malignaggi. Wow, what a punch! Left hand, down goes and down again. Quillin continues to hunt him down.